So don't mind the dogs barking in this voiceover. It'll happen a lot. They bark a lot. So you see me taking out my color matching chart in this speed drawing video first. I do take out the skin tones, which are going to be my cotton pearl, my soft sun, my barely beige, my light suntan, and my dark suntan. So I start out with the soft sun, my E21 Copic marker, just to lay down the basic shading of this character. So after that, I go in with my cotton pearl to really accentuate the highlights, and then I go in with my light suntan, then dark suntan to really darken that, and then I use a barely beige to make the skin super smooth. The best part about Copic markers is that you can honestly just color and color and color until you are happy with the gradient, and it won't bleed through or anything like water-based markers will, so that's good. And then after that, you see me, I really kind of wanted her shirt to kind of look like she was missing some pieces of it. So that's what I did, making sure to leave some areas darker and some areas highlighted. So for the legs, I did basically the same thing, but I wanted one leg to look more highlighted and one leg to look that is more lurking in the shadows. Because one leg is in front of the other, kind of like she is like, hey, look at me, this is me who I am. And this is how powerful I can be, kind of like empowerment. I use a sepia and a dark suntan for her eye because her eyes are brown, and those are the darkest browns I can have. I used a warm gray 1, 3, and 5 for the gauze, and the story about this is that I actually couldn't draw the other eye when I started drawing and came up with this character, so I patch her gauze. So I take out my coloring sheet again, and for the clothes I ended up going with an RV19, RV29, and RV39. I cannot pronounce the name of RV39, which is a garnet, I don't know. But I use R39 for the clothes. If I said RV39, I'm like, oops, I actually don't have that Copic marker yet. But I use the garnet for the folds in the clothes, and then a red violet to really blend that out, and then the crimson for like more of the base. I did take out the R14. I do use it in the wings. I just didn't use it in the clothes. So there I am, just going along with the shading, and it was actually really hard because the rips are actually really tiny. I could have made them a lot bigger, but I didn't want it to be too much to the point where like, oh, her clothes are ripping, whatever. But I didn't want her clothes to be ripping too much because I still wanted you to see the aesthetic of her top and her skirt. As for this, the clothing, she is either wearing like a dress or a shirt and a skirt, but she's always wearing red, and red is actually my favorite color, so that's why she's red. So for the hair, I started out with an YR000 silk Copic marker, and then a pale pink RV10 Copic marker, just to really lay down a foundation. I actually did this last time, like in my last video, and I figured that her hair blended in with the skin too much, and I'm like, how am I going to make that pop? So I actually used a YR02, which is the only YR marker I have in my YR set. I have to actually go order some, but there is a Copic marker shortage, and I believe someone did a video on it. I don't remember. But my YR02 actually did a pretty good job blending in with my YR000, despite YR000 silk being so light. But I did want to make her hair pop away from her skin instead of it just sinking into her skin. I wanted the tips of her hair to still be that obnoxious pink, so I used the most obnoxious pink that I could find in my Copic marker collection, which was my RV04 Shock Pink, using my R22 Light Prawn as the mid-tone color, and then RV10 Pale Pink to blend in with my silk hair color. So all in all, I think it turned out okay. The thing is, like, when I first initially drew her, she was blonde with pink highlights, and I was like, oh, how am I gonna do that? Oh, yellow and pink. And all I had were like these Crayola pencils. I don't have them anymore. I think they're all done because of how many times I drew her as like yellow and pink. And yeah, I will probably do an old sketchbook of all the things I did before, but they all pretty much are cringeworthy. So, well, I think they're cringeworthy, so moving on. So for her power or her aura or whatever, Well, it is called Aura in Hunter x Hunter, and she is a character inside Hunter x Hunter that I did make specifically for it. So I started out with my N0, which was my neutral gray, and then used neutral N2, which is my neutral gray 2 Copic marker, and then used my colorless blender to blend it in with the white, because Aura is actually supposed to be very hazy. It's not supposed to have a definitive line, which is why I didn't outline it first. I did go in with a pale yellow and then brought it back with a neutral gray tone to really make it seem like, oh, there's some color to her, and I wanted her aura to look like it's coming from behind her and then coming in forth towards surrounding her entire being or whatever. So for her hand, I did use a cadmium yellow, which is a Y15, and then a Y17 golden yellow. There goes the dog. She's barking, but I still love her, but she's gonna keep barking. So if you just hear that, she's just gonna bark whatever the heck she wants to, and this voiceover is like, okay. So, because I am recording this at my boyfriend's house, and he has 4 dogs, so there is that. I did use a neutral gray 2 to really tone back the yellow, and I just kind of kept going back and forth with the yellows and the grays to really just, oh, there's so much color, and then using the gray to tone it back a little bit, because I still wanted the focus to be on her, and she's emitting power, and I had to play with the lighting, and like where the light's hitting her, coming from behind her, and all that. So for the first wing, I initially put in a base shading of a pale yellow, and then using a cadmium yellow, Y15, to really like bring out the shading, and then going back in with the pale yellow, and then putting in a golden yellow for the mid-tone, and then a light orange, which is my YRO2, for this wing. And then on the bottom, I used my R14, my light rouge, and then my R17, which is a lipstick orange, which is actually darker than the light rouge. So the R14 was really just the mid-tone to go into the light orange, and really making that a really smooth gradient into the wings. I really wanted it to look like phoenix wings, but still kind of girly, and adding my own touch without it being too much as angel wings, because angel wings are pretty basic to me, but I do like them. They look really pretty. I might do a girl with angel wings later on, maybe later if I feel like doing a speed drawing of it. But yeah, I really wanted to make that wing colorful, but then later on, if you see it, I do tone it back with my neutral gray 0 or my N0 Copic marker, because I wanted the focal point to be her and not the actual wings. On the other side, I wanted it to look like she was transforming, like in the middle of a transformation from like regular human to supernatural human being. So I used the same colors I used on the other side for this side, as you can see right now, and then I dull it down to just my neutral gray tones, like a very muted neutral gray, just transforming into that colorful phoenix that you see. She was inspired by the phoenix. I did look up a bunch about mythical beings, and the phoenix really spoke out to me, how it came and rose from the ashes. You see me refilling my neutral gray 0 because it's like, oh, I ran out in the middle of this drawing. So with that neutral gray 0, I did just end up coloring it, putting in a base, and then using my neutral gray 2 to really like make the shadows more prominent. And then I did use a cadmium yellow in her palm to show that her power is forming, but not as much as the other side is, because it is like a transformation. You see me take out my 100 black Copic marker, and then I use that as a base for my neutral gray 0 2, my neutral gray 2, and I didn't get my neutral gray 5 yet because there's no Copic markers and it is coming in stock, so I have to wait. But to improvise, I did use something. You see me going around with her aura around her head, and I just used the same technique, but I couldn't, you can't see the rest of it because something tragic happened to the camera. It died, basically. So basically, I was almost finished anyways. I just finished up her aura using the same basic colors and using the same basic sketch that I wanted it to be in, and the final picture should be coming up soon. But I did use my micron pens in black to really make her pop out, and to make her stand out more than the wings. So that's pretty much the end of it. If you like my video, please subscribe, give it a like, share it if you really want to, and I will see you next time. So, bye! Mm.